We're going to be having a breakdown show, Arsenal versus Burnley. We're all buzzing because it's the first time Arsenal had back-to-back victories in 10 years in our 2 opening games. So happy times. But let's not get it twisted. It was far from perfect. So what we're going to do, we're not Sky Sports, we're not BT Sports, and we're not Talk Sport. We're going to go through all the nitty-gritties of what Arsenal needs to improve on. I had somebody on my Arsenal Fan TV interview in the comments saying I'm such a flip-flop because I was happy because we won. Message that bloke who sent that comment. Listen, I'm happy when we win and I'm pissed off when we lose. It's not a flip-flop, it's my opinion. And that's what this is all about. It's all about opinions.
Yeah.
We've got Armaguna with me, Terry Davis. And we've also got Kenny Ken with us, but Kenny Ken's just gone on a black screen for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm sure he'll jump in a second. Terry, give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, yesterday, obviously, I was there, like yourself. I had high expectations. Obviously, see the team. I was quite happy with the team when it first come out. Obviously, I still wanted Torreira in for Guendouzi and obviously Pepe to start. So I was a little bit disappointed there. First half, I thought, we didn't start too bad, but some of the tactics that Emery's coming up with, I just don't know what sort of formation he wants to play. The way we're playing out from the back, I think it is totally wrong. I mean, we'll probably get into that a bit later on in the show. But I mean, the outstanding Caballas, I thought he was brilliant yesterday. He had a great game. And yeah, that's What about you, Ken?
I'm just going to try and add one more person to the chat. So if you're not talking amongst yourselves at the moment.
Okay. Ken, can you hear us?
Hello.
Ken, can you hear us? No? Can you hear us, Kenny?
Hello.
Can you hear us, Ken? No, you can't hear us, right? Yeah. So, can you hear me still, Sonny?
I'm still with you, mate. I'm just trying to add Black Scorpion to the chat. So, just trying to add Oliver to the chat. So, bear with us a second.
Yeah.
Right, we're back. Oliver's going to be joining us as well in a bit.
Okay.
Right. Where was we?
Right. Yeah. As I was saying, there was a lot of positives, but there was still a few negatives yesterday at the game. I thought. I mean, the positives for me was Caballas was outstanding, and I thought he was man of the match. Willock had another fantastic game, and in my opinion, he should be starting ahead of Saka now. I don't care when Saka comes back from injury. I think Willock should start ahead of him. Pepe showed signs of things to come. I thought some of these tricks and skills that he was doing, excited most of us fans. And that's what we've been missing for a long time, I think. As soon as Caballas and Pepe got on the ball, you had that excitement back, which we ain't had for years in my eyes.
Let me just welcome Oliver to the chat. Black Scorpion, how are you?
How you doing, my brother? You good, yeah?
I'm happy with us both. We're just going through the Arsenal Burnley breakdown. What I said was it was obviously good to win back-to-back games, first time in 10 years, but it was far from convincing in my opinion. I'm just going to hear Terry's thoughts, so then we'll go on to yours and Kenny's as well.
I'll just quickly go over what I said. I thought the positives yesterday was Caballas was outstanding. I thought he was man of the match. I thought Willock had another fantastic game and should be starting ahead of Saka now. Pepe shows signs of things to come and looks absolutely frightening when running with the ball. And for us fans, that's what we've been missing for years, I think. David Luiz had a okay game, apart from obviously leaving Barnes for the goal. I think that was terrible. Looking forward to having a fit squad. And that was me positives from yesterday.
Right, how are your positives? We'll go to your negatives in a second.
Yeah.
What did you make of the game?
I thought it was a good game. We could have. I mean, I expected Burnley to get physical. I didn't see a lot of footwork from Burnley. Burnley was just the usual Burnley. They come around, try and get physical, lob the ball from back to front. But I thought our players dealt with it very well. I was particularly impressed with Ceballos. It was fantastic yesterday. David Luiz as well. He really, really impressed me. I thought he stood up. The goal we considered. Yeah. Evening, Kenny.
How you doing? You all right?
You all right, Ken?
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks.
Sorry about all this, but I've got there's too many people on the Wi-Fi.
It's always the way, isn't it?
We definitely ain't Sky Sports old.
It's like you know what? Everyone's got iPads in his house and computers, and they'll all be using them. They've got no consideration for the importance of my podcast appearances. I don't realise that when I'm on a podcast, that comes first.
Only this channel, mate.
Yeah, so like I was saying, David Luiz really, really impressed me. I was happy with his performance. I thought he stood up. But from what we saw of Pepe coming off the bench, I mean, at the half he gave us was very, very impressive. I was very impressed with him, and I mean, if that's action of what's to come from Pepe, then we're in for a treat.
Definitely agree with that.
So far so good though. So far so good. I was happy with it. I knew we were going to concede, but every single Arsenal fan knows we've got this defensive problems. But the one that we considered yesterday, it wasn't one of those you could really blame on it. It was it was almost like a free goal. The ball just fell to Ashley Barnes just like that, So, and I thought it was offside when I first saw it. But when they brought it back on slow motion, and I thought, okay, you know what, it's a good goal for them. But ultimately, we got the two best strike forces in the league, and they both delivered yesterday. They both came through in Lacazette and Aubameyang. So you can't really moan. Your strikers did their job, and that's all we ask of them.
Did you see Aubameyang speaking to Lumos last night on Instagram?
Oh yes. That I thought that was cool. The interaction with the players, with the fans now is it's lovely. It's lovely to see the club is interacting with the fans, and I like the transparency as well, which is something that's new that we're getting to experience as well. And this all feeds into fans' match day experience, and not just fans that go to matches, but fans around the world. They can actually log in and see how players actually interact with fans, which is a lovely thing to see.
We'll come on to Aubameyang a bit later, because obviously that guy is the closest to the fans since Ian Wright and Kevin Campbell is now.
Yeah.
So, Kenny, what did you make of the game yesterday?
It's one of those things where it's all about getting a win. So you've got to remember, like last season, we lost our first two games. We were 6 points behind virtually behind our rivals. So we made things difficult for us ourselves in terms of trying to get into that top four. So to win against a Burnley team like that was very good. It was a good result. Performance, was okay, but you have to admit, as we discussed on Thursday, we kind of knew what Burnley were going to do. We knew Burnley were going to put the crosses in, work off the set pieces and the knockdowns, and that Ashley Barnes was going to be a bit of a nuisance. But I think in terms of how we played in the first half, I can understand why Unai Emery saved Pepe for the second half. I think what he wanted to do, he wanted Nelson to kind of work hard, try and stop those crosses in, which he didn't do that well, but he ran himself at the ground in terms of trying to do his defensive duties and trying to keep that shape. And in the second half, when the game opened up again, more, it was a great time to bring in Pepe in, and I think he played very well. But for me, man of the match was Ceballos. But the reason why Ceballos had that platform to play well was because we gave him some good protection. Firstly, from Willett gave him protection, i.e. doing his defensive work, and when Guendouzi was a good screen for him. So once you get, it's always nice to give good players like that space. And once we gave the lad space, he was fantastic. His link-up play with Aubameyang was brilliant. He also, like I said, made himself into a bit of a goal threat as well. So all in all, performance wasn't great, but at this stage of the season, performances had to be secondary. It's all about getting the results, and the wins will win. And I'll take quite a bit from that. But you may disagree with me, because I think you probably wanted us to sort of blitz Burnley, and I really respect your opinion on that. But after what I've seen over the last few years, I just want results.
Look, my take on it is, look, we're playing at home. Burnley are near the bottom of the league for a reason, because they're well organised, well structured side. But I just felt that Arsenal made it midweek today. The constant playing out from the back when it was evident that 6 players were pressing. I think we only beat the press probably 2 or 3 times in the whole game. So it wasn't working. So what we should have done, in my opinion, we should have changed it up. We should have went long. We should have played out. We should have played out to the channels, and we should have also tried to beat the press that way. But we just kept doing the same thing all the time, holding it out to the centre back to the fullback, the fullback back to the goalie, the goalie back to the centre back. They just kept doing the same thing time and time again for me, and all we're doing is inviting pressure. And if we do that against Liverpool, Liverpool going to batter us.
Yeah, but the thing with Liverpool, the thing with Liverpool is that it's all about formation. We need to be trying to take Liverpool by surprise. Liverpool will expect us next week to first and foremost play our 2 strikers together. They're going to expect us to try and take too much time on the ball and try and not mark those little spaces for them. Players like Henderson to run into, and for their fullbacks to run into. So what the first 20 minutes is going to be very important. So rather than wait for Liverpool to press us on from the back, stop us from passing on the back, how about we take Liverpool by surprise? Not just with their team selection, with their approach as well. You look at the Chelsea game today. The first thing Chelsea did against Leicester, went in their faces. We let them. They'd force them into mistakes, press them over the pitch. They're going to be on the front foot. Well, what we need to do is that don't let Liverpool do that. Why don't we get in Liverpool's faces? You know what I mean? Because the end of the day, I hear what you're trying to say, Sonny, and everything, but modern day football now is that whether you like it or not, you've got to earn the right to play. And by earning the right to play, it's doing the dirty work that Unai Emery was trying to get us to do, i.e. getting sort of keep our shape, getting our face, which I agree with you, they didn't do. But next week, that's what we're going to have to do, is be very careful with our team selections and get in Liverpool's faces, take them by surprise, because they'll be expecting us to do what we did in the last 3 seasons.
I mean, for me, I mean, the player what stood out head and shoulders was Danny Ceballos. I said on my Arsenal Fan TV interview, I want to find out where he's time through the window, nick his passport, so he don't go back.
Yeah.
I think Ceballos is not thinking of staying, because on his interview he turned around and said he's going to enjoy his year here. So he hasn't got anything in his mind apart from the year he's going to be here at the moment, which is a shame. Because for me, it was the closest thing with Fabregas at his best, and also Santi Cazorla rolled into one, even though it was based on one game. But the way he ran that game was amazing. I haven't seen a debut like that, and since I can't remember. I mean, that guy got so excited watching it. It was like it was worth the admission fee alone. It was like watching Alexis Sanchez. That's the feeling I got. He just excited me. I mean, Ola, what do you feel about how Ceballos managed the game yesterday? His physicality. At times he's playing as number 8, at other times he's playing as a number 10. I mean, how did you feel about it? Ola's paused. Ola, are you with us? Ola, are you with us? Hello?
I just sent you. audio is so jumpy. I couldn't. I just said on your.
What I'm saying?
I couldn't.
The impact it made on the
I think
game.
that there's something going on with the audio. I'm gonna leave, then come back in again.
Okay.
If that's all right. I think there's something wrong with my.
We've got like a technical issue.
I can't hear anything.
Terry, bring you in. What needs to improve? What is it you saw in the game which basically you didn't like and it pissed you off?
Well, there's a few things that I've got written down. Basically, I mean, the one thing that's really worrying me is Emery's tactics and formations. Now, I really don't know if himself knows which is the best formation and the best tactics to play. I mean, picking up on what it's going to pain me to say this, but what Van Persie said yesterday in his interview on TV was that he doesn't know what Emery's philosophy is. With Wenger, you sort of knew which way he was going to play, his formation he was going to play, the players he was going to play. But with Emery, I just don't see. He seems to change formations during the game so many times. There's 2 or 3 times that we sort of play the back 4 and then we go to a back 5 and then we play one up front on his own and then we go to the top 3. We just don't understand where he's coming from sometimes. And his substitutions that he makes, I think, puts so much more pressure back on ourselves than what he should do. I mean, taking Lacazette off and bringing Kozliak on yesterday, I thought was terrible. That just made Burnley come forward even more, and we didn't have no one up front.
I think Lacazette looked knackered yesterday, though, when he came off.
Sorry?
I think Lacazette looked knackered when he came off yesterday.
I think he did, but he was gutted himself that he had to come off. I think he was in such great form, and really he needs them minutes under his belt going into the Liverpool-Tottenham game that it might have paid off a little bit more to let it try to get him to the end of the game with Aubameyang and Pepe to make them gel. Obviously, and all is the defence. I mean, the defence, even though David Luiz has come in, he didn't have a bad game yesterday. But the formation, it must be coming from the formation and the tactics of Emery telling them to play that way. When I watched it back last night, I was watching the game, and when we were taking place kicks, our back 4 were right across the penalty area, the penalty line. There was no further up than the penalty line. And then from there, you had Willock and Guendouzi sitting on our goal area. So then you had all that space in between the goal area to our halfway line, where Lacazette, Pepe, and Aubameyang was. So that is why we were stuck in our own half for so much of that first half. We were so far. It was unbelievable.
How did you feel about the constant defending from the back? The pass out from the back. It's totally not with us. Carry on, Terry.
Yeah, and also, I mean, a message to Leno. I really do love him, and I think he's a great goalkeeper. But please, just stay on your line and try not to come out and punch the ball, because he must have done that 10 times yesterday, and I think he only got to it once.
Kenny?
I think, yeah, I agree with Terry. I think with our continental goalkeepers, over the years when I've watched other leagues and watched the international football, it seems like it's only continental goalkeepers don't like to catch the ball. I don't know why. Everything when you want them to actually catch the ball and hold it and kick out, they'll punch it. You know what I mean? I think what it is that it's like they're not used to the physical contact that we get in this game because of the physical contact. Because we have loads of forwards like Wood, who like to challenge the goalkeeper. You have to catch the ball. So I totally agree with you on that. In terms of the passing out from the back, I think this is something Unai tried to do last season. And I think that is one of the ways he is going to want our players to play out through the back. I think that although I agree with you 100% that his philosophy, it does confuse me at times. One thing that he hasn't bent from was the playing out from the back. And I think that's what a lot of the continental managers, especially in this league, want signing players to do, is so their ability to play at the back. We've got a situation now where goalkeepers are like Joe Hart, are finished in football now, in Premiership football, because they can't kick the ball. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they want their goalkeepers to start attacks and play at the back. We're now getting a situation where we're not going to be signing centre halves because they're not good on the ball. I wanted Lewis Dunk at Arsenal, but when I look at him and I see that no big club has come in for him, what it makes me think is that, right, Lewis is very good in the air, he's good in the tackle, he's a good organiser, but is Lewis good on the ball? Because I think that's the way things are going. Even you look at someone like Smalling can't get a place in the England team because he's not, because Gareth Southgate is insisting on ball players. So I think what Unai's doing is basically like a symptom of what we're going to be seeing for the future. So I don't see him trying to change us playing out from the back anytime soon. What he can do, though, if I mix it out.
Enough to put on the ball either. I think Socrates is terrible. Socrates, I don't think he's good enough on the ball either.
He's not at all, but do it, David Luiz. I'm assuming the reason why we got David is because of the fact that he's good on the ball, especially with both feet. So I suppose that's probably why we signed him as opposed to any other players. And I'm assuming the reason why we've gone after Saliba was the same thing, that he is good on the ball, he is silky in that, and he can defend. And I think that's, in modern football, that's going to be the way forward. However,
See, I can hear what you're saying, Kenny, and I don't mind us playing out from the back, but surely our midfielders have got to be halfway up the field to give us that space in between to stop any, attacks going straight on our goal area if we lose the ball. Because that's what
I totally agree with you, but I think what the best way, if you're going to play down the back, then don't do what Leicester tried to do with Johnny Evans and Didi, and try and play and get your midfielder, because one of the things with us playing the back, Matteo Guendouzi, he's part of the problem because he does like to come in and try and receive the ball. But better teams are going to say, right, what we're going to do is that we're going to, that little space in the field, we're going to cut that off. So if you're going to play in the back, then just play down the lines. By all means,
let's talk about the middle of the park for a moment, because Paulie made a point earlier. Basically, Torreira and Ceballos would be able to communicate better due to the language connection. How do you feel our midfield coach yesterday with Willock, Ceballos and Guendouzi? Personally, I think Guendouzi is just a faster Elneny. I don't think he offers a lot. He runs around like a headless chicken. His hair is flapping about all over the place. And what does he actually do?
I think when he first came to us, we was in such a bad place as a team that where he was young, he just wanted to run everywhere, run for the ball, and he looked really good. But at the moment, I don't think he's doing the job what we need him to do. He's not an holding midfielder for me. And if you've got Ceballos and Willock, that are both, Willock is young, he's fit, he's raring to go, and as soon as he gets that ball, he just wants to head towards a goal and attack. Same with Ceballos. Ceballos is like a Cazorla's and a Ramsey. He can spread the ball, he can do tricks, he looks fantastic. But Guendouzi, for me, he looks weak. He looked like he got brushed off the ball quite easily against Burnley. He didn't really contribute that much, I don't think. But for me, in that holding area, Torreira is the best player we've got for that position.
Will a midfield of Torreira, Ceballos, and Ozil work?
No, that's a good question, because I like Terry's first point in because I do think that we're going to have to get used to the fact that we're going to see a lot of Matteo, because Unai Emery is a massive fan of Matteo. I think what's happening is that I'm not sure that Unai Emery is totally comfortable with Torreira in his teams. I think he admires the fact that Torreira is like as we like. He presses the ball. He's a good holding midfielder, and he's snapping a tackle. But I think one of the things he just trusts about Torreira is his ability to keep the ball and his ability to pass the ball. And I think that's why, from what I'm seeing, I'm only going by how Unai. I'm trying to read Unai's mind. He is going to be. He is picking Guendouzi over that, because I think what's happening is that Unai just wants the ticking over possession, I think, and he doesn't think that Torreira can do that long term. And also, I'm not sure he's happy with Torreira's kind of fitness. But in terms of what we need in the attributes, it is a surprise to me that that he's not getting first team starts. In terms of like Tobias and Ozil, no, it doesn't work. But Tobias and Ozil can work in the team, though, Sonny. And the way to me is that Tobias. Everyone says that Tobias reminds them of Santiago Cazorla. So if you have got Santiago Cazorla in the side, then what you do is you play. You make Tobias the brain of the team, and then you play Ozil further forward in a front three. But you can play Ozil in three different ways in that front three. You play Ozil just behind that front two, whoever they are, or you can play Ozil in a three, where he can play either the left or right hand side. And that's where you get the best football with him. The reason why I say it can work, because we've got proof it has worked at Arsenal. Remember Watford away 3 years ago, we won 3-0. Oh, we had Santi Cazorla in the side, and we had the three of Walcott, Alexis Sanchez, and Mesut Ozil. And what happened in that game when we beat them 3-0 in that first half is that they all switched positions. Alexis Sanchez and Ozil, and they all took positions, and that will work because it worked. And if you look at how he plays for Germany, he's got Tony Kroos. Well, he doesn't play for Germany anymore, but Tony Kroos was like a Cavalla type, and Ozil played either right or left, or just or false number 9, or just be on the front two. So it can work, but in terms of both in the midfield, forget it. If you want Mesut Ozil to play his best football, then don't put him in the midfield. Mesut Ozil plays best football in the last third, in those positions I described, either left or right of a forward, or in the false number 9, or just behind them. That's how you play Mr. in the same team.
Ola, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm back. Yes, I can hear you clear as day. I don't know what happened earlier on. I think it was the link, or something to do with the link.
Ola,
yeah.
Mesut Ozil is your favorite footballer.
You're mad. Yeah, go on then. Let's hear it.
I've been trying to hide it for all this time. I really don't. There's nothing to be ashamed.
I've missed him so much, haven't I?
Can I not against Liverpool. I can't you, right? But I think a midfield of Ceballos, Torreira, and Ozil with Lacazette, Pepe, and Aubameyang up front. I think it would be devastating. What do you think?
I agree with you if Ozil decides to pull his finger out, because we know he's capable. We know we know what his talent level is like. We know on his day is a world beater when he wants to be. The problem with Ozil is consistency, right? And there's been so much that's been made of players in his mode. We're talking people like David Silva here, Christian Eriksen. These are the people when you mentioning Ozil's name, these are the people he's meant to be rubbing shoulders with. But it's not nowhere near what those guys produce on a consistent level. And this has been the problem with Ozil. But if Ozil can do it this season, I'm giving him a clean slate as far as this season is concerned. If he's staying here and we're paying his wages, he hasn't kicked a ball for us yet this season. When he puts on the shirt this season and the manager sends him out, look, he's got a fantastic trio in front of him. And you wouldn't want anybody else to be pulling the strings behind these guys. But a decent Ozil that wants to play football, Ozil that really wants to put in work. And the midfield you just mentioned there is fantastic.
See, I'm quite a big Ozil fan, to be honest. I really do rate him and like him, but I don't think that Arsenal and Emery have been playing to his strengths itself. He is a luxury player. He's not going to be a player that runs back and tackles players and barges people.
I mean, we've heard this for years, though. We've heard this for years that it's not going to run back and tackle players, but every other player has to. Every other player in his mode have to do that same job. De Bruyne has to. You know what I mean? He has to. Eriksen has to. They all put in the work. They have to work back.
I just think the reason for that is that when Arsenal are playing bad, then Ozil gets most of the angry comments, if you know what I mean, because obviously everyone's looking for Ozil to be our star player. But
He is our star player. He's the highest paid player.
I mean, Arsenal Fan Circle channel. If you haven't subscribed to him, go and subscribe to him. Actually, it's good content, and I was on there earlier. Arsenal Fan Circle is saying Ozil being replaced by Ceballos. I disagree, to be honest with you. I don't think he's being replaced by Ceballos. I think Ceballos is more of a Ramsey replacement. And I personally think I'm going to give Ozil a free pass this year. I'm going to give him a free slate, not a free pass, a free slate. And I think someone like Ceballos, who's so intelligent on the ball, and Ozil manipulates the ball and can pass it between the lines. I think especially at home, I think they'll be mad for win with what's in front of them. You know.
Well, can I just cut in, Sonny? I've heard all your points, and one of the things you're talking about is you've mentioned all of those players. I think you're creating a lot of square pegs, like around a lot of round holes. You're saying all that would be devastating, but I think people looking at names. You're not thinking about how they're going to work in a football team in terms of formation.
Is that what you're saying?
And I think the thing about Mesut Ozil is that give him a clean slate. But one thing about a player of that ability, and that's one thing there's no, as far as I'm concerned, Mesut Ozil's a better player than Christian Eriksen. He's better than De Bruyne, but their numbers are better because of their work rate and because of their consistency. Now, for Mesut Ozil to deliver for me, he has to. This is the levels I'm setting him this season. He needs to score 12 league goals, and he needs average performances out of 10 have to be 7.5.
I agree.
So that's what world class players do.
I agree.
You can't be a world class player and not score and have a modest league goal record where you're not even scoring 12 goals, not even scoring 10, and your performances over the season are not 7.5. That's just not good enough. And one of the things we got with Mesut now is that everyone says, well, Mesut Ozil needs the strikers. He's got the strikers now. He needs pace. Well, he's got pace and he's got the strikers. But the thing about it is fitting in the side, because if you're going to play Mesut Ozil where I think he should play, where do you play Pepe? Do you play a bad man Lacazette in the same side? Someone's got to be left out for Mesut Ozil to play his best football. Because are you going to leave out your £75 million, so £72 million left forwards? No. Are you going to leave out your £60 million goal scorer, who incidentally is a top goal scorer alongside Mane and Salah? No. Are you going to leave out Lacazette? You know, they all can't play. You know, you ought to be able to a situation where you don't want to do a situation. You know, you don't have the famous five that Ozzy Ardiles had done in 1994 when he had Sheringham, Addison, Barnby, Luke Dimitrescu, and Klinsmann. Come on, that went well, didn't it? You don't want us to go that way, surely.
It's a good headache to have, especially for the manager, for the headache to have for him to have all those players at his disposal. But we just need everybody to pull in the same direction and get the balance right. Most days they're not.
It's about time we had a great bench anyway. When was the last time, can you remember, that we had a great strong 11 out on the pitch and a great bench?
Absolutely.
I can't remember.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I'm going to ask you all a question now, okay? What is Unai Emery's best side? And also, what is his best side to face Liverpool? Start with Terry.
My side against Liverpool, I would obviously start with, what are we talking about, if everyone was fit, or
as we are now?
As we are now, right. So obviously I'd have Leno in goal. I'd have the same back four: Monreal, Socrates, David Luiz, and Maitland-Niles. I'd have Torreira as our holding midfielder with Ceballos and Willock. And then I'd have Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe on the right.
Okay. That's now, yeah? This is
that is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ola.
Same goalkeeper, same back four. I'll go with Torreira holding defensive midfielder. Go with Ceballos and and I'll go with Ganduzi. I'll drop Willock for this game. Ganduzi is so dynamic on the passing as well. I think it is direct. So Willock, but I think Ganduzi, he played in a lot of big games for us last season, and to me, he's kicking on. He's done so well. He's been very, very impressive of what I saw of him from last season in all the big games we played. So there's no reason to hold back his progress as well. So yeah, I'll be putting Ganduzi there, and obviously the obvious front three, Laka, Oba, and Pepe. I'll start Pepe in this game. I think from what we saw in the second half that he gave us, I think he's ready for Liverpool. So yeah, definitely go with those front three.
Kenny?
Right, my two would be Leno and goal. Right back would be Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He's picking himself at the moment. Left back would be Monreal. My centre half would be David Luiz and Socrates. My midfield would be Torreira for this game. It will be
what we're doing.
It'll be Granit Xhaka.
Kenny,
I think he'll come back.
Kenny,
What's that?
we're talking about your best 11, and then we're talking about
That's
we're talking about 11 for Liverpool.
no, I'm talking about my best 11.
Your best 11 was the players we've got in the squad at the moment who are fit.
Right. If barring injury, barring injury, my best 11 would be Kieran Tierney, obviously left back.
No, it's not. Fit players, Kenny.
Fit players. All right, the best. Well, of the back four, that'd be my back four then. And then over the season, my midfield would be Xhaka, Wendozi, and Ceballos. And then my front three will be Pepe, Lacazette. You know what? I just wish we had Wilfred Zaha, because I don't like letting the band up front. I hate it. But I'll have to bite my lip and play Aubameyang. But against Liverpool, where I can get my own way, I'll play Leno in goal. I'll play the back four I've just chosen. My midfield would be Xhaka, Ceballos, and Xhaka, Ceballos, and I'll have to go with Torreira because I want him to press and get in Liverpool's faces. And my front three will be Reece Nelson on the left-hand side. Up front will be Lacazette, and on the left and on the right, it will have to be Pepe. I am leaving Aubameyang and Lacazette out for tactical reasons because I do not want a situation where I don't want a centre forward to be a left-sided or right-sided forward who I need to track down the runs of Robertson and Alexander-Arnold. I do not trust Aubameyang to do that, so he will come off the bench. But it's horses for courses, and I want to win the game, and I do not want us to lose. I want a tight side. To play to buy Ceballos, Lacazette, and Aubameyang with Pepe is suicide. It's complete suicide. You're asking yourself for a 4 or 5-0. And I'll tell you one, first 20 minutes, you're asking yourself to go 2 or 3 down. So I'm sorry, I'll have to be strict, and I've got to leave one on that.
Who are your front three?
Front three for Liverpool.
Arsenal.
Yeah. I've already chosen. All right, I've just said it. Nelson, Pepe, and Lacazette.
Okay.
So you'd leave Aubameyang out?
Yes. What? Because Aubameyang cannot play up front on his own. Aubameyang cannot play with his back to goal, and his work rate isn't great enough. And Lacazette scores goals, but doesn't score as many goals as Aubameyang. But I'm in for work rate, and that's what's going to keep us in the game at Liverpool is work rate and the ability to hold the ball up with your back to goal. Because you don't want a situation where the ball comes back and Liverpool wave attacks. You have to make sacrifices, and one of the biggest sacrifices has to be Aubameyang. Aubameyang can't play on his own. He needs someone around him. He needs his mate Lacazette around him. Now, we can't afford to have those two against Liverpool. So you're going to have the person who's going to hold the ball up, who's going to bring people into the game, in terms of counter attacks, and hold the ball to give our midfield defensive like arrest. Aubameyang's not good enough to do that, and that's why I leave him on the bench.
I totally disagree. The reason I disagree, Reece Nelson definitely not starting against Liverpool for me. He's not ready. He's not ready.
Why not? Why can't he be ready?
Because
Why can't he be ready? Because
he's had 2 games. He has done nothing in the 2 games.
Sorry, this is horses for courses. You're not talking about. You're not asking. I'm not asking Reece Nelson to express himself. I'm asking Reece Nelson to do a job for us in terms of stopping those runs from the right back.
I can see why.
Kenny, you're saying that you won't start Lacazette and Aubameyang. It was Lacazette and Aubameyang who got us out of trouble with Burnley. So you can't not start them in my.
Yeah, but that's Burnley though. That's Burnley. We are playing the European champions and a team that probably should have won the league last season. The team that have, in the last two games, have won 9-1 on aggregate. And in both those games, if you look at the goals we conceded, both those games, the game was over before the first half. We can't afford that. We can't create this amount of space. We can't have all these luxuries of playing Liverpool. Because you know what happened? Let me say something this week. Yeah, but Sonny, you saw the interviews AFTV where everyone was hugging and kissing and saying we're going to win a league. I promise you, next week, if we get hammered, which we'll do with that team, people are going to confidence is going to go down a touch before the season started. Why don't we just make sacrifices and avoid defeat, and then everything's all well and well for the Tottenham game. It's only one game. It's only one game.
We talked about this on the last podcast, whereas yes. I'm fed up of worrying about who we're playing against. We are Arsenal. Let's play our best team with our best players, and let's go out there and give it a shot. I would rather lose gracefully and knowing that we're putting a great performance than to sit there and worry that what Liverpool are going to do, and then we'll sit back, play cagey, and then we'll end up losing 3 or 4-0 like we did.
I totally agree.
The thing is, in both those games, I mentioned we weren't cagey. We were way open, and we got thrashed. Sonny,
sorry, can I just ask? My brother's watching, and he's just sent me a message. He don't know how to put a comment on the website, but he's asked me to ask this and see what you say. His team would be Leno in goal, Maitland-Niles, Socrates, David Luiz, and Monreal. Oh no, sorry. He'd have Leno, Socrates, David Luiz, Maitland-Niles, Caballas, Torreira, Ozil, Willock, Pep, Aubameyang, Lacazette. Go 3-2-2-3. Fight fire with fire. What would you say to that?
What's your brother's name?
Chris.
You're right, Chris. Hope you subscribe, mate. Chris, I totally agree with you, bro. As far as I'm concerned, we're Arsenal. We've got some world class players now, and we've got an attack, and we've got a midfield. What could take the game to Liverpool and actually destroy them? Our problems are at the back. What I wouldn't do, I wouldn't stop our weaponry just so we don't concede goals. I'll go for outscore Liverpool to win, yeah. Yeah,
I totally agree with you. Totally agree with that, Sonny. What about you, Ken?
Kenny's made his point on that one already. Ola.
What about
Ola? Yeah, it's been a while since we lost gracefully at Anfield. That's a while since we lost gracefully.
What's your mouth out with so
and get dealt with. So what I'm trying to say, I like, but we still got to find a balance. We still, Chris, that's a good thing to go with, but it's finding the right balance. I know we got to go like fire with fire, but at the time, if Anfield right now, take it, just base.
Let me ask you.
Anfield.
Let me ask you a question, okay?
Yeah, go on.
Fuck the past results, right? I'm not interested in past results.
Yeah.
New season, new team, right? We got better fucking team now. Fuck the past result. if someone was coming at you with a knife, right? What would you attack them back with?
With the knife.
You know, get your fucking gun out and shoot them.
With the gun.
You don't go to attack with a stab fist, do you?
I totally agree.
Yeah, that's what you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. Yeah, I hear that, and we've got the firepower, and I understand it. Like I said, I picked my team earlier on, and my front three consists of Pepe, Laka, and Oba. I'll bring all those three because, to me, Liverpool, they're leaking goals at the moment, and you can get at their defense. I watched their game the other day, and people are getting in behind Van Dijk. Van Dijk is not looking as short as he did last season, and that's how I think you can. To me, it's still going to be a case of who can outscore who in this game, and see this game. Yeah, we're going to have to shoot our way out, but in big bit because we get better. It's a game where we have to shoot. I think we have to shoot our way out of this. So it'll be interesting.
No, I don't want to keep going. I don't want to go back on, like you said, Sonny, about past results and that. But if you look at them past results, how did we play? What was our system? It was defensively. You know what I mean? We can't even defend in a normal game, let alone against one of the top six.
Shall I tell you how we played in the last game? In those last games, like a timid bunch of pansies. That's how we played.
All right, Sonny, I hear you. I hear you. But all right, let's just forget what happened to 5-1. What about the 4-0 when we went with a very attacking side? We went with Ozil, we went with Ramsey, we went with Alexis Sanchez, and then if you look at most of the goals the Liverpool got, they came down the side where we were in possession, left the spaces. You look at Salah's goal, Mohamed Salah's goal, where he went from one end of the pitch to the other when we were attacking.
You can't compare them. We'll ship them.
And all I'm trying to say is, if you don't want to go and look at the example of what happened last year, what about looking at what happened before? And I want to ask you guys all a question: would Man City go to Liverpool that open? Would Spurs go that open? Because you look at the Spurs and Man City game yesterday. They didn't play all their big boys. They said they had Harry Kane up front and they had Little Walt, and then when the game opened up a bit, then they bring Lucas Moura on. The fact of the matter is that this is big boy football, and we have to be in a situation where one of the reasons why we didn't get the top four is because of results at places like this. That's all I'm saying. We've got 108 points left. There's always a time for good football. We've got loads of matches for good football, but let's not lose. Let's not lose.
We said this in the last podcast, Kenny.
Went to City yesterday, not to lose. They had 3 shots on goal. One of them was from the halfway line, and they scored some 2. Tottenham went for a draw yesterday.
And they got it.
But if they miss out on Champions League now by 2 points, that draw has fucked them. So it ain't done them any favours, right? Liverpool Southampton yesterday. As soon as Liverpool conceded a goal, they shit their fucking pants yesterday, Liverpool. They shit their pants. These teams at the top, the Cities, the Liverpools, they're used to everyone sitting back. They're scared of them like they used to be us in the tunnel, right? And let them to sit back and they let them play as they want. Fuck them. That's what I say. Let's go and play a fucking game. If we go and lose fucking 6-0 after we went out to attack, I'll accept that. If we sat back and got hammered, fuck them. Everyone's got to fuck off in front of them.
I totally agree with you, Sonny. I really do. I think the best form of a defence is attack. We've got the best. I think we've got one of the best front three now with Pepe, Lacazette, and Aubameyang. They can be frightening. And now we've seen the likes of Tobias, what he can do, and you put in there like Ozil, like we've just been talking about, with Torreira's just sitting behind them and worrying about the defence. I think we've got one of the best teams out there.
Of course.
But do I believe that Emery will play that way? No. Do I believe that he will pick our best players every single game? No. Do I believe that he will play the right formations every single game? No. So if that's the case, is he the right manager for Arsenal?
I don't know. All right, good question. Is Emery the right manager for Arsenal?
For now, for the job that, yes, for now, because obviously forward and to the next level, because look, and the hierarchy came out earlier in the summer and said, let's get back into the top 4 at the moment. We know we can't guy that's up there at the top, but it's all about getting back into the champion. They make building blocks from there. And for each season that goes past, because it's gonna get judged at the end of the season now. He's been back, he's had the money, he's got the players that he wanted. Yeah.
Let me pick you up on that point, please. Okay. Why is it so important for Arsenal to get back in the Champions League? Right? For the money, yeah? For the money.
Not just for
Liverpool,
the money. Not just for the money.
Whether we're in the Champions League or not.
Yeah. It's not just also to attract top players. It's to attract top players to the club
Liverpool, Man City, and Man United will always outspend us. They'll attract better players than us. Maybe not Man United now, but Kenny, why is it so important?
I know what you're saying, Sonny, but what?
Let Ola finish.
No.
You know,
it's important for the club to get back into the Champions League, to attract players. Some of the that paying arm and leg and the king to get these players is good for sure. The club is important, and that's why Emery can do this job. After he's got the backing, we're going to take a look at him at the end of the season, see what he done, and judge him from there. But I think he's been backed now, and I think he has at least not the best tools, because the defense questionable somewhat, tools to get us back into the top. And they will up Upamecano. We've got Saliba. We've brought, if Bellerin comes back, the narrative changes. But right now, for the tools that he has, get us into the top 4, and I think he'll get the job done.
Top 4 for me ain't good enough. It's not good enough.
I don't think it is. Let me put it this way. Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question here. Right?
Yeah.
Going into the Liverpool, we're going into the Liverpool game on Saturday. Tell me, do you think that Emery is going to pick the first 11 that Pep would if he was our manager?
Good question. I'll answer that question.
Yeah.
I'll answer that
Please.
question. Unai Emery is spoilt for choice now, and Unai Emery will, in my opinion, pick a team not to lose because of the situation, the pressure he'll be under now, because he has to get in the top 4. So
Ken,
I agree with you. He ain't going to pick the team. He ain't going to pick the team. In answer to Sonny, both your questions about why is it important the top 4, I'll tell you one reason, right? The obvious reason, financial, and it for us to get players. But let me tell you something now about last year. If we watch, you look at the Champions League last year, right? English teams dominated, right? English teams dominated, right? And what that told me is that for the next few years, English teams are going to cause a stink in this competition, and I want Arsenal Football Club to be part of it, because I can tell you now, Barcelona, PSG, and all these big teams in Europe, it's going to take them years to get to the level of the Liverpools, the Spurs, and the Man Cities in this tournament. I believe that an English side will be winning this tournament for the next 3 years. So the reason why I think it's important for Arsenal to be in it is that if you want to be an important club, you have to be in the Champions League, and you have to be in a position to try and pick teams to try and win it, because it is winnable for English clubs. And I want Arsenal Football Club to be part of that situation, because every one of you guys, all the things you guys have said, all these things you guys have said is a theme that you and Sonny come out with, Sel.
Yeah.
Is we are the Arsenal.
Yeah.
All right. If we're the Arsenal, right, then the Arsenal that we are have to be in the Champions League and compete with it. Not have little crumbs and have the little status like we're in the Champions League and Tottenham, mate, and we're better. We have to be in to win it. Now, we hate Spurs. I hate Tottenham. You hate Spurs, Ola. So do you, Tel, and so you, Sonny. But boy, minute, they had the bloody front. That little team had the front to go to not only compete in the Champions League, to go and win it. They actually thought they could go and win it.
Why, Kenny?
I admire
Why?
them. I admire that attitude.
Why?
But
why? Because they think that at the moment they are playing like Arsenal used to play. They're going out there and they are going for goals all the time. They're trying to win the match. Like what you just said in your comments just a minute ago, you said Emery's going to pick a team not to lose. So if he's picking a team to lose,
that's only one game though. That's only one game though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we've been saying that for the last 3 games now, saying that he's picking a team not to lose, and we've got Burnley at home. We've got to, we don't want to lose because all the fans are going to get on his back and things like that. But in my eyes, if we're going to pick a team to not to lose, then you've already got that in your head when you go out to play that we can't lose this match. Instead of saying, right, get out there, we've got our best players on the pitch, we're playing against Liverpool, and I think that we can beat them. Get out there and show me what you've got. Play attacking football. Go out and score 2 or 3 goals.
How are we going to get into the top 4 if we never go out to take points off the teams that were around us?
Exactly.
Yeah, but hang on it. My team against Liverpool is there to get something. That team, the team that we're playing, yes, it's attacking and it's really good to watch, but it will lose. It will lose so many spaces because Liverpool will thrive in that space. I'm not picking a team just so we can keep the goals down. I'm picking a team that can go and win the match, but win ugly.
Yeah, but Ken, we couldn't
you guys
even...
mistaken if you think that I'm picking a team to go for a point.
He couldn't even pick them players for Saturday's game to not let Burnley score. We let them score. So if Burnley's going to score, then surely Liverpool's going to score.
But the way we're going to win the game at Liverpool is on the counter attack. The only way you're going to be good in the counter attack is if you're tight and you keep you keep your first 7, i.e., like your defenders in midfield tight, and then when the ball breaks down, you've got all that pace to hit on a break. That's all I'm saying. Reason why I'm saying that Oba can't play, because I know Oba will give me that space. I know that, but what Oba won't be able to give me is the ability to hold the ball up so we can create those counter attacks, and that's a problem because Oba, if he doesn't hold the ball up, the ball's going back. That team I'm picking is there.
You think an 18-year-old kid is going to do a better job?
I never said he's going to do it, but what I'm trying to say is that he's got pace, he's got running power, he can cross a ball, and that's what I'm asking. It's going to be crosses, not just through balls, but through ball. It'll be crosses that win us that game. And all I'm trying to say is that you've got to have a platform for a counter attack. You can't have a counter attack if your centre forward can't hold the ball up. Because that's how we're going to play on a counter attack.
For me, Ken, I remember the game that we played a couple of years ago, obviously at the Emirates, when we played United, and we went 3-0 up within 20 minutes. Right? We absolutely shocked United. They was all over the place because they was expecting us to do exactly what you said. Stay strong, keep it calm for the first 45 minutes, and let's try and play on the counter attack and score that 1 goal. But why should we play that way when we can go out and do what we did against United that day?
Will we be able to do that at Anfield?
Yes, Sonny, I'm here. There's a good debate going on here. I like it.
You've heard Kenny's opinion. Kenny. I love him to death, right? Kenny's the type of person who wouldn't drive his car over 30 miles an hour. Do you know? He wouldn't park his car if he's trying to go for a piss. He won't park his car on a single yellow line to go for a piss. First, right? He's an old head, right? Ola, how do you feel we should approach it? Cautious, or we'll go? I mean,
the word I'm going to use is be organized. We don't need to be throwing, or we just need to know what we're doing, set our stall out, leave pitch, the game opens up, I'm sure of that. But can we take those? They've got Adrian in goal. To me, that's not Alisson, right? We saw the goal he gave away yesterday. Aubameyang scored one like that against Ben Foster last season, where you just press the keeper and just put the keeper under pressure. I think that was probably the only clean sheet we kept away against Watford last season. So we can put up immense pressure as well. But we got to be organized. We need to know what we're doing. Everybody needs to be on their game, work for each other as a team, and I believe we can definitely get the result out of Liverpool. But
all right, let's go for some score predictions.
It's all about being organized. It's all about being organized.
Let's go for some score predictions.
All right, I'll go first.
I've got it, Ben.
Right, I'll go first. I'm going to say, I think Unai Emery is the player. Aubameyang, like is it?
There's me, brother.
I pray that I'm wrong. But I think if they played my team, my head would say 2-2, but my heart would say we can nick a 3-2 here with my team.
Can I just
because I know I can get players off the bench to come off the bench.
Can I just sorry? Sonny.
Defensive. You got totally defensive. We're still conceding 2 goals.
Sorry, Sonny. That last comment, I can't remember who put it, but I did put Willock in my team. Can I just say?
Chadwick Moffat. Ola, what's your score prediction?
I'm going 3 Arsenal. 3-3. 3-0 draw.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going.
It's going to be one of the games.
Joe, I'm going for.
Sonny, go for it.
Fuck everyone, right? Fuck the defending. Fuck everyone. Fuck everyone. I'm going for. I'm going for 3-1 Arsenal.
Wow.
I thought you were going to go for 6-4 Arsenal.
3-1.
I can't believe you, Sonny, or Kenny didn't pick it up because obviously I said 2-1 to Arsenal with the team that you picked on our last podcast. So I'm 1-up on all of yous. Right. So I'm going to go with. I'm going to go give it. Is that if the team that Emery is going to pick? I reckon we'll lose 3-1. But if you pick the team that I want out there, we will win 3-1 with a great performance.
Let me just remind everyone what's coming up on the show. Thursday, we've got an Arsenal legend on the channel. Apart from me, apart from you lot, we've got Kevin Campbell.
Go with Kevin.
League title winner. Part of the 89 squad. What met that memorable night at Anfield. So Kevin Campbell's coming on the show, and we've also got Don Robbie is coming on the show as well.
Robbie.
Yeah. We've got the JR and Bobby. We've got JR and Bobby Ewing. Terry's Cliff Barnes. Kenny's Digger. Ola Ellen. I'm not sure who I am.
You know what? I can't wait to watch this, right? I can't wait to watch that show on Thursday, man.
I'm looking forward to it, man.
You know what? I want you to grill Robbie and grill him.
You know what? I want to get at Robbie. Get at Robbie for that show. I want him to stop being devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And I'll get Robbie your opinion. I'll get Robbie's opinions.
Arsenal TV at the moment is when I first used to watch it, you had controversy all across the board. But now it seems to be politically correct and you're not allowed to go against Arsenal in whatever you say.
Hey, Terry, present company. I
No.
No,
I
man, I'm
didn't say everyone, Kenny. I didn't say everyone, mate. But the majority of the people on there now, you know what I mean? You got to sort of be with Arsenal or not be with Arsenal at all. You can't have your
yeah,
own
Sonny, mate. He means you, Sonny.
You know what?
Peachy,
You know what? I'm with Arsenal when we lose, and I'm fucking against them when we. No, I'm with Arsenal when we lose.
You've always got to have your own opinion, guys.
Let's wrap that up tonight. We had some technical issues at the start, but we got there in the end. So, in a nutshell, we're second in the league. We're in the Champions League. So, after next week's round of fixtures, Chelsea again dropped points today. Tottenham, I don't know whether you want to see it as 1 point gain or 2 points drop, but either way, the scum are behind us.
Hang on. VAR won that on that day at the Etihad. I'll tell you one thing: Tottenham and VAR is probably one of the best marriages in football.
Best sign they've made for the last couple of years, isn't it?
Can I just sign off before we go? I hope that if we are reviewing the game next Sunday, that when we are talking about that we had a great performance and we're not, you know what I mean, we didn't just sit back and we got slaughtered.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you. I do agree with that.
But thank you, Amaguna. Thank you, Ola Black Scorpion. Thanks, Kenny Ken. Everyone,
Thank you for having me, man.
Everyone tuning.
No.
I appreciate it. I hope to see you again.
Thank you and all, Sonny.
All right, see you soon, guys.
Everyone tuning Thursday and put your questions to some legends. So we're out of here. Take care, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Go on.